When all my wires are about and just loads of interconnections and hacked up interfaces, I've got a big project going on. Today's project is Virtual Striker. Well, it would have been. It says V Striker down there. This is a giant metal sheet of perforated holes. But we're not looking at that today, we're actually looking at this. This is one of the boards I wanted to get for a while. You might recognise that board in there. We'll go and discuss that in a minute, but if we go over to here and not have any light, do I have my torch about? Yes, of course I do. Ay. It's one of those videos where I'm not prepared for it. Oh, I don't even have my light on me. Marvellous. Yep, this will have to do. Well, if I can move the thing down. There you go. Model 2B CRX mainboards, copyright Sega 1995. 1995 is a very special year to me, mainly because that was the year I was born in. Yes, I am only 18 and a half. Anyway, point is, this is a Model 2B board, and if you remember, right, I had that purple box over there that had Sonic the Fighters. Now this ROM board here is not Sonic the Fighters. This is actually, you won't even say it on the thing, but this is Virtual Striker for the Model 2B, and yes, typical me, I've already removed that because I'm not going to be playing that as much, and I put in Sonic the Fighters. There's a lot of blooming, to get boards off, there's a lot of screws and feet you have to remove, and not that I'd want to keep these off, Oh, let's not throw this. Not that I would want to really keep these off, because these are sort of for spacing purposes and to keep the board from flexing, but I won't go in. Anyway, these basically dot around all the PCB over there. You've got some screws here which actually screw into hidden feet. And one thing I'm glad about is that there's a security card connector. Thankfully, this game doesn't use a security card. Neither does Virtual Striker, which is, well, alright, I suppose. But yes, it's powered by the nice Intel i9-60 processor, and the graphics are a custom, what is it? Because this is Lockheed Martin, but I think Lockheed Martin went through several different company names before Sega stopped using them. What is it? The first one, I'm not going to go into it. I think this is when they were called oh, I have no clue. Anyway, it's like Lockheed Martin basically made the graphics chip and Sega branded it. So we've got loads of big custom chips here, which I will never touch the pins with my fingers, and I will never ever touch them with a soldering iron, because that's the same pin pitch as Seattle, and my god do I hate the Seattle's pin pitch. Not that I hate the boards, I just fixing them scares me. Anyway, so I put this in, and I've got my 24K monitor out, because that monitor's only 15K, that monitor's only 31K, so got this one out because it's the nice 24 and 31K monitor, and had a weird glitch. I've noticed something with this. You cannot really mess around with the settings too much, especially on this board, because the it'll go really glitchy, and I'm not going to show you that because I've already fixed it, but it's such a pain. And yes, Model 2 is a custom wiring job. There's at least 2 connectors, sometimes 3, just for the 5V power. The manual states that most wiring harnesses, they only use like 4 5V and 4 ground per connector. The boards themselves, you can use 5 per connector, but I just didn't have the patience. And yes, that is a ridiculously long connector, and that's a 24-way, and that's only a 10-way. But stupidly, when I ordered the JST NH connectors, I ordered 2. I only ordered the one of the 10-pin ones instead of 2, which I actually needed. Oh well, the 24-pin one is actually for the I/O, and it's supposed to go down there, but I forgot. Anyway, there's so that's an actual 5V input. There's 5V output here, which is, as far as I'm aware, just literally directly connected to the input. So I think that's for like powering other parts of the board, but we're not using that because we're not powering anything external. Got our 80 channel inputs here. They're basically 4-bit I/O, first couple of pins, and then analog channels there, and then presumably your grounds. You got your 4-pin line level audio, and it's line level because I've got a it's got a common jack, and you generally Sega's I/O, Sega's original harness would be a 4-pin to RCA, but I don't have that. So yeah, this is just a really simple pin out. It's 1 ground, 2 left, 3 ground, 4 right, and that's the pinning on the actual JST connector. The pinning on these connectors is 1 to 5 is 5 volt, and 6 to 10 is 10 volt. 6 to 10 is ground. Same down here. Same. There's sometimes a connector there. It's not populated on my PCB, but that's sometimes there. And then we got 5 volt output, which is the same pin out. There is a couple of other connectors as well that some boards have and some boards don't. This is the RGB connector. Mainly because it says RGB on it there. Basically the pinout as follows is 1 is red, green, blue, sync, ground. You know, fairly simple. You've got your MIDI connector, which is for connecting to some drive boards, which I don't have. You've got RS242, which is not populated, especially on my board. CN1 I have no clue about. And then we've got the optical connectors there and there, well, where they would be populated on the driving boards. But it's all custom. But all the connectors are JST-NH, and if you're going to make your own wiring harness, like I've done, because I've got that going to here, that going to the power supply, and yes, this is not ideal, but it's all I had at the time. If you're going to make your own harness, order at least 2 10-pin JST-NH connectors, 1 4-pin, 1 5-pin, and 1 24-pin. If you're going to be making driving harnesses, try to get an 18-pin as well, or 2. Well, an 18-pin or a 16-pin, whatever you fancy. But anyway, I'm not going to go into the details of how to make a wiring harness. It's because weirdly, most are Sega arcade boards, like pre-model or post-model. You can find the service manuals fairly easy. I've had great difficulty finding any manuals, really. I mean, I found the one for Virtua Fighter, which is... well, Virtua Fighter 2, sorry. Which is... it's the same system. Well, it's Model 2A, but which has a slightly different I/O config, but it's different. And, you know, Virtua Striker, I couldn't find anything on the arcade manual database. And, you know, don't even ask me about Sonic the Fighters. There's just nothing. I couldn't find anything. Well, the only manual I found was entirely Japanese, and on top of that, it had no schematic. So, go figure. Anyway, I'm missing a fan in the back there. I'm going to populate that, hopefully one day. And on some, there's also one there. Wouldn't run these systems without a fan. Definitely not. That's a big no-no. But yeah, so this system's entirely 5 volt, but my god, does it use a lot of wires. There's at least 8 wires, you know, 5 volt wires per connector, you know, for the entire connectors, and then grounds. It barely even fits my terminal block. Oh well. And also you need to make sure you've got a good enough power supply to run such. Just notice that some of the... no, nothing. Anyway, save me rambling on, as always, because it's nearly been 10 minutes of me doing this. You will need an amplifier. Because like I say, this is line level audio. There's a difference between jammer and line level audio. Jammer is amplified, which means you just hook up the speakers directly. Line level means you need to amplify it separately, and these speakers aren't hooked up. This one's just that, you know, and this one isn't hooked up either. They're just there. But my monitor has some built-in speakers, so I'm using that because why not? Anyway, save me rambling on. I shall show you what I've got and why I'm kind of annoyed with it at the minute. So if we turn it on, it's got a nice little light show going on down there. That's the sound processor, by the way. Monitor taking 20 years. Oh, turn it on, that might help. There you go. Oh, it's... and yes, I did say Robotnik. turn that down for now, just so I can speak. But yeah, need I say why I'm annoyed? I'm more annoyed over the fact that the guy said it worked in December and now doesn't. I mean, you can never really trust 100% that things are going to work if they worked before. I mean, there's no fan on there. You know, I'm really not happy about running this without a fan, but I thought I'd show you what's going on. What scares me is that the Model 2 stuff is entirely custom graphics, so if the chip has failed, well, this board is screwed, essentially, isn't it? But the 2D is fine. Oh well. And it's not like I've not got 5V proper, you know, it's not like it's running low. Because originally when I powered it up, I thought that might be the case. But I've got my multimeter here of dubious accuracy. And I'm going to show you where you should measure it, which is actually on the piece board itself. Let's turn on the light. There you go. So you can actually see it. Nope, you won't be able to see it. That's typical. Sorry, let me just get this set up. Okay, well, I'll just have to... Sorry, I will get the camera back up in a second. There you go. 5V, exactly. You know, not ideal, but it's good enough, so... It's... it could be RAM, I don't know. Why does the green keep cutting out? So yeah, that's annoying. But I do have a working Model 2 board, so it's not like I couldn't play the game, but it's more the fact I wouldn't want to. Also, the 24-pin I/O I have no clue about, because, again, going off Virtua Fighter, maybe I have a clue, but you never know with these things. But anyway, so I've got Sonic Championship, where not Sonic the Fighter. Oh wait, Sonic the Fighters is the Japanese one, and Sonic Championship is the American / export release. Oh well, but like I say, I mean the characters you can see they're working perfectly fine, but it's just the background is completely and utterly gone. And sometimes it like when it goes in front of the characters, it just screws up. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's RAM, maybe it's a graphics chip, but I'll have to get someone else to look at it, because I'm not repairing this thing. Because it's one of those boards where I just, you know, respect it and I don't touch it. What's interesting here, though, you see those red LEDs? That actually indicates what's, I think, something to do with sounds, like how many sounds it's playing. Because if I turn this monitor up, I don't know if you can tell, but you can sort of tell that it's every time it plays a sound effect, it goes across. That's kind of nice. There's also a LED there and an LED there. I think they're sort of jittering, so I don't know if there are something to do with sound or whatever. But I don't know. And then there's two LEDs there, which I have no clue about. But it's an interesting system nonetheless. Ooh. I was worried I'd have to get the thing up. Let's just do a memory test since I've got this. RAM, good. So that's what those buttons do on the board. I was about to cut out the video, but since we've got into the test, here's where it's important. If any of these are bad, then that could easily screw us over. What I'll do actually is, because this is going to take a while, and I need to go do something for a second, I'm going to pause the video and we're going to come back and look at this. Whap. All good. Which is good, but bad, because then it probably means something else is bad. Anyway, that's the memory test. Let's go into the TGP test, which is the graphics processor. IC31, good. So that's good. I think that's what the TGP stands for. Input test, output test, I'll do that later, because that's useless at the minute. Game assignments. Match count. Barrier, automatic. I'll go through this at a time. I'll put that on export, because that gets rid of the please use don't use drugs. I'll leave it on projector for now. BS finish. I leave coin assignments all initialized. Bookkeeping will back up. Well, that's annoying. Test switch. Ah, that's interesting. Now I've lost all control. I see. So that's extra. Oh, so they've got two test switches. There's one on the PCB and there's one on the actual test loom. Okay. What does the service work on this? Yep. No, it's a different board thing. Output test, winner lamp, which we'll find later on. Sound test. Press test button to exit. Ah, it's making noise. Well, I've got to turn up the volume. Okay, that's enough for that. CRT test. See, that's working fine. That's not lined up, and I'm not going to bother because last time I did it, it blew up my nearly blew up the monitor. Yeah, so in theory, it should be working fine. It's clearly not. I'll tell you what. I'll just go initialize the graphics. I wonder what the dip switches do on this then. Okay, we'll just do that for now, and we'll change the country because I am in the United Kingdom. I was about to say USA, but I'm not in the USA. Oh, darn it! Didn't want to go in to do that. Okay, I got out of the test mode eventually. Blue sound initialize. Sega. Now it's not saying anything about don't use drugs, but still glitchy as hell. Ah well. We'll sort something out about it. Like I say, I'll put it in the fan anyway, just in case, but it's not like it's unplayable. I could probably still play it, just the stage graphics are completely messed up, which is weird. Anyway, I'm going to call it a video because it's nearly 20 minutes long, and I have been running this board for more than 20 minutes, so anyway, thank you for watching. Come on, turn off. Monitor, turn off! Oh, good. Thank you.